And so welcome into Advent, everybody. This is the first Sunday wherein all the Christian world is beginning to celebrate that great sense of joy and expectancy that is felt at this time of year for all of those approaching the great celebrations to come. And every culture and every religion is celebrating life and light, especially life as light, this particular time of year. And it's not surprising because in ancient times, the days indeed were long and they were dark in the sense that you don't have daylight for that much time in many parts of the world. And so the nights and the darkness grew deeply at this time. So it was a natural instinct in the heart of mankind to appreciate the light. And you always appreciate it more fully when you don't have it around as much. Anything you don't have around as much, you appreciate more and more and more. So the celebrations were all around the appreciation for light. And they begin in our own time now with the celebration of the Hindu tradition in celebrating Diwali, the Festival of Lights. Goes right on through until the 6th of January, which is the Feast of the Manifestation of the Lord. It's the Epiphany, and in Ireland it's a great big huge day, and in many countries it's a huge day. In Ireland it's known as Little Christmas, and you have a big Christmas dinner, everything, the Christmas pudding and everything all over again. And that's the last day of Christmas. Understand that Christmas begins on Christmas Day itself. Not that we can have any sense of that mostly here, because when I first came here, I used to think how sad it was the day after Christmas to see all the Christmas trees dumped by the side of the curb on the second day of Christmas. And so it made no sense to me whatsoever. So I thought they must do Christmas differently over here. So you have that long extended period of time. Diwali can be around begin in October or the beginning of November, depending upon various and sundry solar systems and things like that, and go right through into January. So all looking toward the celebration of light and what that means to us, because if we didn't have light, we wouldn't have life. And so metaphysically speaking, spiritually speaking, what we're celebrating now is the deeper awareness and appreciation of the rising of the consciousness of the light within us. That's what we celebrate. That's our Christmas celebration, Christmas celebration. And we understand that Christ is certainly older than Christianity. Christ always was in the minds and in the hearts of humanity, that Christ conscious awareness, and it didn't just enter into our conscious awareness with the coming of the great master teacher Jesus and the establishing by Paul of Christianity. And so it's glorious in its expanse, because all over the world, everybody in their own culture, in their own tradition, is preparing to celebrate greater light in the midst of us all. And it certainly lifts up the vibrational energy in the world. And for me, of course, what makes Christmas the delightful thing that it is that everybody's endeavoring to be a little kinder, a little bit more mindful, a little bit more generous, a little bit more caring, a little bit more loving, a little bit more appreciating, and so on. And that is what raises the energy at this time of year. And I agree with the converted and the transformed Scrooge when he says that he's going to endeavor to keep the spirit of Christmas in his heart every day of the year. And of course, if we were all doing that, we wouldn't have anything to worry about on this plane. Nothing at all. We'd be just feeling very good about everything and everyone, free to go anywhere we want to go and feeling safe all the time. And that's what we're moving toward, that's what we're getting to. So this is the beautiful time that we are entering into now. And as we do, we have this dichotomy going on. We have the frenetic frenzy of the commercial aspect of the holidays, where everybody's invited to shop until they drop, literally. And everybody is faced with the challenge of deciding what kind of a gift to give to people that they won't be returning the day after Christmas or whatever. and all the food we have to cook and so on and so forth, and all the family members we have to think about and maybe grace with our presence one time in the year, or have them come to us. Whatever all of that is, it's on that side. On this side is the invitation of Advent. Come, come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel. You know, that's in lonely mourning, really, for the light that is to come, you know, and save us from the darkness and the dreariness and all the rest of it, of the life that so many people live, as the poet says, here where men sit and hear each other groan. You know, that's a very telling line of a poem. I hope it's more than that for all of us, that we're not sitting around listening to each other groaning and groaning with them. And all of that is going on. At the same time, the invitation is time out, draw aside, step back. This is a quiet time. This is a time for silence. This is a time for contemplation. This is a time when we remember what's going on within us. It's the winter time. It's the dark days. It's the time when everything comes to rest and goes to sleep, and the land lies fallow, and it looks as if nothing's going on, and everything is dark and dismal looking and brittle. And so the invitation is to stop from the frenetic frenzy that can happen at this time, and pay attention to the new life and the new growth that is endeavoring to root itself within you, so that it can blossom forth in the springtime when that time is ripe. And so again, as the poet says, if winter comes, can spring be far behind, you know? And so the winter time is a necessary time, and it's a good time. And it is that time for you and for me to be one with nature, and pause and consider and contemplate and go into the inner sanctum, go up into the upper room, draw into that state that always awaits us with its brightness and lightness and illumination and transformation and amazing grace. And it's up to you and it's up to me to take up that invitation. The question is, how do we do both? And it's impossible to do both. You cannot do both. You can only do one thing at a time. So what I'm saying today is, in the beginning of this season of Advent, which means the coming of a rising consciousness coming up through you and through me with regard to really what our priorities are all about. And it's certainly not what's happening out there in the malls, etc. That's not what it is about. Commercialism has hijacked the holidays, the true holy days that we are engaging in as best as we can. So the invitation is, create for yourself at least one silent night, one part of this coming time where you're going to draw aside and give yourself a spiritual spa. Whatever that looks like to you, I don't know, it'll be different in everybody's mind and imagination. But whatever it is, give yourself that time, the quiet time, the still time, the silent time, so that you can touch the brilliance within you. We had a reading this morning that talked about, if we are entertaining dumb thoughts, then dumb is what we'll be. If we are entertaining brilliant thoughts, then brilliant is what we will be. Because as we think it, so it is. So where is our energy centered and focused at this time of the year? What truly are the holidays to me? Are they a cause of stress and strain? Are the holidays something that come and go and you say, well, where did they go? I never even got to savor the flavor of them. It's over and I wasn't in it. It happened without me. I was so busy. I was so caught up. I was so stressed out of my mind. I was so bound and determined that was going to be the way it was going to be, and that's the way I planned it to be, and by heavens, it'll happen. They will have a good time, and so on and so forth, etc. Like it or not, they're getting this whether they want it or not. I think it's wonderful, so I'm buying it for them. Whatever that is, you see. And we all understand it. We all have part of that going on in our lives. I mean, if we're being honest at all. Sometimes we say to ourselves, this is such a burden. This is such a burden, but it's not. The whole idea of this season, this time, is to unburden us. It's to unburden us. That's what I love about Thanksgiving. It's just about family, it's just about friends, and there's no worry around gifts. No worry at all. But whatever the gifts are this year, for goodness sake, make them meaningful, make them meaningful, make them meaningful. In Ireland, they think I'm really strange. You know, when people come into the family, nieces, grandnieces, nephews, and so on, they get an elephant, or they get a goat, or they get a set of chickens or something like that. Because of their birth, and some people over there, these little children in a village somewhere in a third world country, is going to have a good life because of the goat that's now there in their honor and in their name, you see. And they're getting to love all of that. It's different. It's not what they're used to. It's different. And so we make our gifts meaningful. And not only does the gift honor the person we're giving the gift to, but it creates good around them and in their name and in their honor. So we make things meaningful. Now, that's not to say that we don't like to have a little bit of fun too with gifts and things. But you know what I'm saying. The greatest gift of all basically is you, your time, your presence, your attention, your energy. That's the greatest of all gifts. The rest is pale by comparison to that. And that may sound like, but I still want the thing, I still want the this, I still want the that. But we soon get over that. And the time comes in your life and mine when the giving of gifts far exceed the receiving of them. The giving of the gifts far exceed the receiving of them, because we know what we know, and it has to do with the quiet time and the touching, that magnificence and that lifefulness and light-filledness and love-filledness that is what constitutes you and constitutes me. And it doesn't matter, it truly doesn't matter what the gift is. It's the recognition of the importance of you in my life by whatever it is I give that matters. And that's all that matters. And so, my dear ones, what is it we have to let go of then so that we can let be? What is it? There's only one thing ever to let go of, and it's negativity. That's the only thing you and I have ever got to let go of. It's the answer to everything. Could you believe that? Letting go of negativity is the answer to every good thing in your life and mine. So that I'm open to affirmation instead. And it doesn't matter what that negative thing is. As long as I'm hanging on to one negative thing, I cannot be affirmed by life. Life cannot affirm me. It's impossible. Because in order for life to affirm me, I must first affirm. In order for life to affirm me, I must first affirm. I cannot affirm as long as there's any negativity going on within me, whether it's a thought, whether it's a feeling, whatever it is. I cannot affirm life the way I'm called to affirm life as long as I am hanging on to any negative thing, because no two things can occupy the same space at the same time. So for me to be the magnificence and the radiation of the light that I am, I need to let go of the darkness that I entertain, whatever that is. And I could spell out a whole string of things that would be stopping us and blocking us from realizing the light that we are, from realizing that we are Emmanuel, that we are God within life. That's what we are. Emmanuel means God with us. God in us and God through us. And so I have to let go of the grouses and the gripes and the complaints and the condemnations and the depression and the depreciation and the resentments and all the rest of it. And all that stops us and blocks us from being who we are and what we are and how we can be. Oh my goodness, it's luscious how we can be. It's amazing how we can be. It's fantastic how we can be. I can not enough adjectives to describe how we can be, because we are it already, but we're just not letting it out. We're not letting it through. We're not giving it expression. That's all. So we have to let go of all of the negativity so we can be the light that we are. Be the light that we are. It's simple. It's as Meister Eckhart says, just let God be God as you. Just let God be God as you. And it is written, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You're so wonderfully made, it's scary. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. And so the invitation is just stop the nonsense and be who you are. Drop all of the shenanigans and all of the stuff that we hang on to with fierceness. With fierceness, I'll darn well hang on to my resentments as long as I want to, because I'm telling you I'm entitled to them. If you only knew the badness of that person, those people, those things, you would feel resentment too. So don't tell me what to be and how to do it. I'll do what I darn well like. None of your business. Would that we would grab onto and latch onto the beauty and the grace and the magnificence within us, the way we do latch onto and hold onto and hug closely to our resentments, etc. You and I would be healthier and happier and freer and lighter and be a wonderful blessing wherever we are. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing that that already exists within us? We are the glory of God, and we could be the glory of God fully alive, as St. Irenaeus said in the 4th century. You are the glory of God fully alive. Well, I don't know about the fully aliveness at times, but certainly we are the glory of God. There's no getting away from that. Whether you like it or whether you lump it or not, you are the glory of God. You are the radiant, magnificent intelligence of spirit that shows up in form. And the only reason why you are, is I'll never tire of reminding us of that, the only reason why you are and I am is because Spirit, for whatever good reason, decided that it wanted to know itself by means of you and by means of me, go figure. And again, I ask us the question, what kind of a time are you giving the divine? Is the divine having a great good time by means of you? What kind of a time is the divine having by means of you? I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate that as a rhetorical question? What kind of a good time does Spirit have by means of you? And who shows up when you show up on that scale? We have to ask ourselves every single day of our lives, well, who's going to show up by means of me in life today? What's that going to look like? Who's that going to be? Is that going to be something that the world is going to laud and applaud and welcome and appreciate and be delighted by? Or is the world going to go, oh, good God, not her again. Not her again. Put her away somewhere. Until she catches on. What's it going to be? Because it's as simple as that. Who am I when I'm here? Who am I when I'm there? Who am I with them? Who am I with those over there? Who am I under my own roof at home? Who am I in the workplace? Who am I at the recreation center? Who am I in any given moment? Is it all the same thing, who I am, or am I all over the place with how I show up? Depending. Who do I save my best for? Do I save my best for certain places, persons, and things? Or can I be depended upon to be the one solid thing that I am, wherever I am, with whomever I am? It's an extreme challenge. It's a radical challenge, but we're equal to it Why are we equal to it? Because we were chosen to be Spirit's own expression in form. That's why we're equal to it. We're already that. We just have to wake up from our spiritual amnesia and remember. And you and I are here to help each other when we fall asleep and nudge each other awake again and remind us of the beauty and the grace that each one of us is. Not you rotten son of a you-know-what's-it. What's the matter with you? You see. That's ego talking. But we want to have soul speaking more than ego. And so you have to understand that a decision has to be made. Who drives you mostly, most of the time, in most circumstances of your life? Is it ego or is it spirit? Who's driving you? Who's driving you? Who's driving you? Because if it's spirit, you're okay, and so is the world around you. If it's ego, look out, world. Here she comes. Get up your shield and arm yourself. You know, it just depends. It just depends, doesn't it? Well, 'tis the season now to be all kinds of radiating light. 'Tis the season now to be honoring and respectful and reverential of ourselves, the great self within us. 'Tis the season now to let all of that light out. 'Tis the season now to be everything that we are created to be. Because we can. So don't we want to know ourselves as Spirit knows us? Don't we want to allow God to be God's self by means of each one of us? Don't we want to experience the good pleasure of the Father and all the gifts of the kingdom? Don't we want for ourselves what the divine wants for us? Which is always good and only good and very good. Why wouldn't we want what the divine wants for us? But it's already been given to us. Now we have to give it to ourselves. It's like you have all these little children running around the chair where Papa's sitting in the chair reading the newspaper. Papa, can I have? Papa, can I have? Papa, can I have? Papa keeps saying yes, 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 yes to everything he's asked. And then at the end of it, he says, now, go away and give it to yourselves. You see? And that's the key. Give it to yourself. Don't be miserly with yourself. In all the endeavors that you're engaged in giving to others and helping others and taking care of others, don't neglect yourself, because you can only give to others what you have first given to yourself. That's all you have to give, and nothing else. Nothing more and nothing less. That's all you have to give. What you have first given to yourself. And you have been given everything. Nothing held back. Nothing held back from the divine. You came in whole, perfect, and complete. And it is within you to keep yourself whole, perfect, and complete. And remember, when you speak the word, when you're in conscious contact with Source and you speak the word, your word is not your own. It is the word of the one who created you to be its own expression. Your word is empowered, infused with nothing but affirmation and the radiance of sacred wisdom. So when you do speak your word, you can speak it in that kind of faith, knowing that more than you is speaking that word of truth. And when you speak your word of truth in this way, all you're doing is affirming what already is so. So all is well is the message. All has always been well. And wherever I am on this plane, I am always safe, because I'm made safe in the knowledge that right where I am, God is. And where God is, all is well. And so it is.